Thank you for tuning in to your monthly Roblox Dev Forum news. I'm your host, Crusher Fire, and we're going to be discussing all of the changes and newly added features for the month of March 2024. Hang with me because there's going to be a lot of announcements to go through. The first announcement for the month of March was the opening of seller accounts on the Creator Store. These seller accounts will allow you to sell plugins for USD and receive 90% of the sale. Unfortunately, on April 8th, all Creator Store assets will no longer be purchasable or sellable for Robux. This means any young creators who cannot ID verify will no longer be able to sell plugins, and any developers on the platform who are only able to use Robux will not be able to purchase your plugins. This change has been perceived as mostly negative. One developer states, "Please do not force this on us. I have built up a lot of Robux which I use to purchase stuff. Forcing USD is pretty backwards. The better way to go would allow them to set a price like $2.99 and offer people to pay the same in Robux, configurable by the creator. I also wouldn't mind if it was just full USD and no Robux, and you used a Roblox wallet to pay for it like Steam, not Stripe, every time. This is bad. Now you're going to pay real money instead of Robux to get plugins, and will no longer be able to sell or purchase Creator Store assets using Robux." However, some other developers have taken these changes positively. For example, this developer states, "Roblox opening the market to support purchases for USD will set a precedent that I am absolutely for. This gives me far much more motivation to create great tooling for developers." But comparing the like ratios between the comments that don't like this change and the comments do like this change, it seems that the majority of Roblox developers do not like this new change. So, not a great way to start off the month of March, but let's head on to the next announcement. A new beta was released on the 4th called the Open Cloud Universes API. This API allows you to read and update information on experiences and places, as well as restart servers, just like you can do through the Creator Hub. This nice addition helps developers to continue to automate and create, for example, external tooling to manage your experiences. So if you don't want to have to do it through all the Creator Hub, and maybe you want to have some other way to do it, update it, you use their new Open Cloud Universes API. Of course, it's in beta, but hopefully it will be completely out soon. And it says, to learn more about Universes API, check out our documentation. So if you want to learn more about this particular announcement, of course, you can head to the description below. A small but neat feature that has been added is the ability for players to reconnect back into an experience automatically when servers are shut down for updates. This means that players don't have to rejoin your game manually every time you shut down servers for updates, which should help improve the engagement and retention of players in your experiences when you update them. A minor but very useful addition for the month of March. Roblox states, "We are happy to announce a significant improvement when you update your experiences. Starting today, players will automatically reconnect to your experience when you update them. Previously, players would be kicked out of the experience and have to manually rejoin." So they added a new button for your places. The button's called Restart Servers for Update, which will shut down all of these servers and then allow all the players to reconnect automatically. Now, during this update, they did actually remove a button, which was the Shut Down All Servers button. A lot of developers received that negatively, so they gave them feedback. They received the feedback, and they have brought back the Shut Down All Servers button. It says, "We've heard your feedback, and we will bring back the button." Because, for example, this developer stated, "Removing Shut Down All Servers is not desirable. In the event there is a serious data issue, let's say the latest update has a problem, how can we force a migration as fast as possible? Shut Down All Servers does exactly that. You also have to account for soft updating systems that use the insert service or packages to update assets cleanly. The feature proposed here will not update those servers, forever keeping them on old bills. You have not provided any API that we can hook into whatsoever. The solutions provided by Roblox saying to private the game is harmful." So yes, when they removed that button, they said to instead private the game, but the issue with that is that privating the game removes all private server subscriptions. This is a reckless change with no forethought given. So they added the button back. Another small but epic change for the month of March was the release of scrolling in text boxes. This new behavior will make text boxes more useful in your experiences and easier to work with. They state, "We're excited to announce support for Textbox Scrolling on desktop platforms. Text will now scroll when your cursor leaves the bounds of your text box to keep what you're typing in at view at all times. Multi-line vertical scrolling is also supported. This new behavior allows users to edit longer text without needing to enable something like text scaled, which often shrinks text to an unreadable size. A minor but very useful addition for the month of March, and as you can see by the likes on this particular announcement, the community has received it very well. Do you love the Gotham or Arial fonts? Well, say goodbye to them, and say hello to the new Builder font. This new font comes in 3 subfamilies, which is Builder Sans, Builder Extended, and Builder Mono. Why were the 2 other fonts removed? Who knows, but it's likely because the individuals who made those other fonts wanted to charge Roblox more money to use them on their platform, and Roblox probably said screw it and made their own font. I guess you can't blame them, it's called business. And here they highlight some of the, give some examples of their new font. Here's Builder Sans with the different bolding and thinning. Same thing with Builder Extended and Builder Mono. And it says, how does this affect me? With the introduction of our new font family, we'll be removing the Gotham and Arial fonts from Roblox by the end of May. We will update you on the exact date in the near future. If you are currently using Gotham or Arial in your experiences, we suggest you switch to visually similar fonts. So Gotham to, I'm not going to pronounce that, and Arial to Arimo. If you do not make changes before Gotham and Arial are removed, both will automatically be changed to those respective fonts within your experience. The next change for the month of March is a little more specific and has to do with the AvatarEditorService, specifically the Get Item Details function for community-created limited items. Roblox states we are making a change to the way non-limited 3D items with unlimited quantity items are represented in our backend on March 18th. This may impact experiences that have logic to specifically pull in community-created limiteds. Currently, this function can be used to return details about avatar items. The item restrictions field can be used to determine if an item is limited or not. If you are already doing this, there will be no impact to your experiences. There is another field called Collectible Item ID. This field is only set if an item is a collectible. Today, only community-created limiteds are collectibles. After our changes, non-limiteds could also be collectibles. If you are using the Collectible Item ID field to determine if an asset is a community-created limited, your logic will no longer be accurate. So while I have used the AvatarEditorService, I have not used this function specifically for filtering community-created limited items, but if you are, then this update is of importance to you if you have not made changes yet, because your logic is now compromised. An awesome beta announced in March was the release of Path 2D, which allows you to create, edit, and visualize 2D splines. These splines can be used for animating UI elements, as shown in this example GIF here, allowing creators to basically make more complex and unique animations for your UI. They give a whole bunch of examples in here on how to use this new beta feature, showing you how you can animate, adjust the different splines, add curves, mess around with them, and animate UI elements. This is definitely an interesting and awesome change to the platform that should bring some more unique ideas into the world of UI scripting and UI design. So if you want to learn more about Path 2D, again, link will be in the description. If you've ever used packages before, there are some new features relating to the script editor's Diff Tool that allows you to view changes to scripts you have in packages. If you're not familiar with what a package is, it's basically a feature that allows you to update scripts or other objects in your game and keep them consistent across multiple places and experiences. You can make a change to a package in one game and have that change appear across multiple games. This is extremely helpful when you have games that contain multiple places but need to have similar code bases or similar assets or whatever the case may be. You can change it from one place and update all of your places at once. Roblox states, we are excited to announce the new version of Studio Script Editor's Diff Tool, which will be rolling out to 100% of users in the coming days. We rebuilt the Diff Tool based on the script editor, so it offers a much better user experience that is consistent with the rest of Studio Script Editor. This new tool supports text selection, copying and pasting code, and more. The Diff Tool can be invoked from the Compare Package Versions dialog, View Script History, and Drafts widget, and they give some of the examples, some of the shortcuts, so this way you can view changes made to scripts that are part of a package. You can see the additions and removals. So this is very similar to some kind of version control system. Memory stores just got a new feature that allows you to further sort data inside of a sorted map instead of using just the key. A sort key is just another value that you can use to sort data in a memory store in ascending order. For example, anything stored in a memory store with a sort key value of, let's say, 3 will be higher than a value with a sort key of 10. You can basically think of this sort key as like an ordered data store. So you have an ordered data store which has a key and then an associated value. And that value, when you grab, let's say, the top 10 elements out of that ordered data store, it's based on the value that is stored in it. This is basically the same thing for memory stores, but it is an additional value that you can add. So you could have a key, a value associated with that key, and then a sort key with that value. ROBLOX states that we understand that for certain use cases, such as leaderboards, you would like to have the ability to sort items in your sorted map by something other than the key. With this new sort key field, the data in your sorted map will be sorted using this optionally supplied sort key. Some details on this parameter. The sort key can be up to 128 bytes in size. It can be a string or a number. Items with a sort key will sort before items without a sort key. Numeric sort keys will take precedent over items with string sort keys. So if you want to learn more about memory stores and sort keys, again, article is in the description. ROBLOX has also added a new collision group specifically for selecting parts in the viewport. So before, any part that did not collide with the default collision group, so let's say you added some kind of part to a different collision group and then made that collision group not collidable with the default collision group, you were no longer able to select it through the viewport in Studio. This issue will no longer occur because the calculations for where the mouse is clicking in the viewport is now going to be using this new Studio selectable collision group. ROBLOX states if you've ever assigned a collision group that does not collide with the default to some parts while editing your place, you'll know that this comes with the side effect of those parts not being selectable. As a solution, we're introducing a new convention in ROBLOX Studio. All Studio tooling will use the collision group Studio selectable when doing selection raycast. This accomplishes two things. You're now free to disable collision with the default collision group as you see fit for gameplay purposes without it impacting Studio editing behavior. You can configure the Studio selectable group to control what objects in your experience are candidates for viewport selection. A nice quality of life update added for the month of March. Some new API features were added to subscriptions that now allow you to get information about a certain user's current subscription, such as the expiration date, the next renew time, and any additional expiration details. ROBLOX states, we're excited to announce expansions to our subscriptions API, Engine API, Open Cloud Subscriptions API, Open Cloud Subscription Status Change, Webhook. Whew. These expansions will provide you with more information to help improve how you engage with your subscribers. And there's a new Engine API Marketplace service, so this function belongs into the Marketplace service. Get user subscription details async. This will provide details regarding a user's specific subscription, including fields such as the next renew time, the expire time, expiration details. This will allow you to do things such as send reminders to your users that their subscription is expiring soon to help you retain subscribers. Additionally, we're launching a new Open Cloud API that provides information such as the user's basically same details and the upcoming renewal timestamp. This means you can now validate your user's subscription status even if they have not joined your experience in a while. And lastly, they're introducing a new webhook integration via OpenCloud, which delivers real-time status changes for your subscriber base so that you can better understand your subscription's health. Another awesome change that will surely help to boost the click and play rates of your games is the addition of 16:9 experience thumbnails. ROBLOX states, as part of our ongoing efforts to enhance user experience, we're gearing up to launch larger tiles with 16:9 thumbnails on the home recommendations across mobile, web, and desktop in early April. This means bigger and better representation for your experiences. These new tiles with 16:9 thumbnails will replace the current icons within the recommendation section of home. This is a great update because now you're going to be able to fit a lot more detail and information into these larger images, which hopefully should help give players on the platform a better reason to join your game, more information to know what your game is about, and basically just get to see what your game is all about. So definitely an interesting update. Hopefully we'll get to see more interesting thumbnails, but more than likely we're probably just going to see our home pages flooded with AI generated images for Roblox games, which I'm not looking forward to. A new setting has been added to places in an experience that now allows you to toggle if a place can be directly joined without needing to go through the starting place. ROBLOX states we're excited to announce updates to our recently launched direct joins feature, blah blah blah. This had the limitation that all places have the same settings across your experiences. We're adjusting this with today's announcement. You are now able to toggle the setting for individual places so you can enable direct access to places. And this image says, what does it say? Allow people to directly access all places in your experience when entering rather than entering your experience from the start place. This makes it easier for friends to follow each other into your experience. Excludes match-made or private servers. An interesting AI beta feature that was added is the ability to generate textures for meshes using text input. I've already made a video specifically on this new beta feature, highlighting how incredibly garbage it is in its current state. The textures this generator creates are pretty poor quality, but just know that this is going to be the absolute worst this AI will ever be, and let's be honest, it's only up from here. So while it's going to be rough in the beginning, we need to understand that it's a beta feature, and hopefully the quality of textures generated by this AI are a lot better in the future. If you would like to see my video on this AI texture generator, link will be in the description. An incredibly awesome alpha feature that has been added is the addition of automatic avatar rigging. If you have a mesh that you want to use as a character or avatar model, it can take a lot of time to rig and skin the model and do the different weighting for the bones. However, with this new alpha feature, you can rig, cage, segment, and skin 3D models with a click of a button. Roblox states Avatar Auto Setup is powered by AI, and our model uses a Roblox created dataset consisting of hundreds of different body shapes and styles. And as you can see, it gives you all the different examples of the different things that this AI will do. It'll do rigging, skinning, facial animation, caging, partitioning, and creating attachments. So they have this example, terrifying looking model here, looking right into my soul. But you'll have the default mesh, and then it will automatically rig it for you, put bones inside of it, then it will skin it. It'll even do facial animation, cage it, partition it. That looks horrifying. And then it'll also add automatic attachments for, attaching different type of accessories to your character model. This is definitely an exciting new feature, and hopefully it will meet the expectations of ramping up development speed for games on the Roblox platform. And perhaps maybe gone will be the days of hours and hours of trying to rig and skin your meshes. Now, are you tired of people stealing your assets and using them in other games? Well, introducing the new Rights Manager, which allows you to report when other games have violated your intellectual property rights. Roblox states that we've heard feedback that the current process for handling infringing experiences, avatar items, and assets is very manual, confusing, decentralized, and long. As we shared last August, we've been on the journey to build a tool that addresses these concerns about managing IP takedown requests, allowing creators to spend more time doing what they do best, building for their experience. So now they have created a new rights manager that allows you to submit requests to take down content that has violated your intellectual property rights. This new feature brings us a step closer to ensuring that developers don't steal your work and use it for their own personal gain. This is a feature that should have been added a long time ago, but you know what? It's better now than never. Another small change for the month of March was the addition of notes to package versions. Yes, that's right. Another update for packages was added this month. This update is very simple, but it's nice that we can now write down some concise notes on a package version, so it's easier to see what was changed in the new version of a package. So when you go and you submit a new version, or you can look at the version history, when you want to push a mass update for a package, you can have a little note, for example, about version 30, made wood darker. So A small update, but a useful one if you're using a lot of packages. Another announcement regarding intellectual property rights and AI was announced this month. This announcement helps to specify your intellectual property rights around AI-generated content and what counts as intellectual property and what doesn't. It's a great read, and I highly recommend going through it if you've used any AI-generated content in your projects. For example, here they give some images of what would count and what would not count as intellectual property. So for example, if you generated a lava texture like this and put this in your game and somebody steals it, you can't claim any rights to it. Same thing with this, you can't, and even this, you can't. But something a little bit more elaborate like this, if you built an obstacle course using these different AI generated materials and something exactly like this, well, technically this is complex enough to count as intellectual property. And if somebody else is using this in their game, let's say they steal it, you can go ahead and request a takedown because they have violated your intellectual property rights. The next announcement for this month gives a recap for the changes made to the 3D importer tool that allows you to import meshes from modeling software. So we'll go through this real quickly, but it says, welcome to the January-February recap for the 3D importer. We have big goals for 2024 and hope that this recap will give you a glimpse into our plans and progress so far. So there's new features. For example, you can upload different 3D objects to your groups. There is bone and direct visualization, so you can see your bones easier, and there's some bug fixes. Simple announcement. If you want to read more about it, link will be in the description. All right, new analytics have been released in the Creator Hub. Specifically, these analytics target any players who play your experiences for the first time. These new statistics will give you information on new user session time, new user session retention, and what their returning session time is. So these new analytics should help you in your quest to make your games more popular and improve the retention of new players. For example, here is one of the charts that shows new user first session retention, percent of players still playing after 5 minutes. They'll chart that out for you. Same thing with new and returning user session time. So new users, it'll show your session time. And then it'll show returning user session time, and then how many new users you have and how many returning users you have. So just some extra data you can use to further fine-tune the retention of your games. The month of March has also announced the death of comments in marketplace items. That's right, comments, they're going away. On April 9th, it says, currently all existing comments have already been locked, and then on April 9th, all comments will be removed. Why? Marketplace comments were originally introduced for you to gather valuable feedback from users and engage with your community. It has become evident that the comments feature for marketplace items is no longer serving its original purpose, as it's become a hub for spam, leading to low usage among both users and creators. I don't disagree. Goodbye comments, never used them, and they're out of here. Some new updates have been added for automatic translations, and these new updates are as follows. They state, we know many of you use automatic translations to localize your experience, and we are always working to update ROBLOX Translate to improve the quality of automatic translations. As our machine translation model improves, more accurate translations may become available for existing strings, blah, blah, blah. So it says, locking translation entries. If you have a translation that you never want to change, you can lock the entry to ensure it will not be impacted by updates, and you can unlock translation entries. Oh, and that's it. Okay, cool. Simple, small update, but hey, more additions to automatic translations with your experiences. The second to last announcement for the month of March was the release of the Secrets Store. What is the Secrets Store? I'm glad you asked. It says, ROBLOX HTTP service allows game servers to send HTTP requests to external services, usually requiring authentication. The most popular way is API key authentication, when the secret is sent as a request header. Previously, creators had to store secrets as plain text in LAKEY scripts or in data stores. Now you can leverage the ROBLOX Secret Store to prevent API key leaks. We're releasing a new method, getSecret, provided by the HTTP service, which returns a secret that can be used in the HTTP service request async function call. So this new change will definitely be useful for any of you who are using the HTTP service and API keys in your code. Want to prevent a leak? Well, you better slap it into the secret store. The last announcement for the month of March was a small but nice change to collaboration with other developers in Studio. There is new UI that now displays who is currently collaborating with you in the top right of Studio. And there's also some other additional UI that expresses what another collaborator is currently working on. So for example, it shows these two different collaborators. One's editing the workspace and the other one is also editing the workspace. It says, after viewing this info, you can easily join your collaborator's location by hovering over the user and pressing join. This is an existing feature and you can read more about it here. Control visibility of collaborators' selections in the workspace. So you can toggle if you want to see what other collaborators are selecting. And there's some other additional changes and some future stuff that they plan to add in mid to late 2024. So that's all of the changes introduced for the month of March. There were a lot of changes announced, and this video is probably really long, but you know what? That's okay. Just make sure to tune in next month to learn about all of the changes announced on the Dev Forum for the month of April 2024. Thank you for watching.